Today I'm asking the question, do you have a heart? Or in other words, do you care? Welcome back to the Speak Life series, designed to equip you to speak up for the life of the unborn. My name is Ryan Lynn, and I'm so thankful that you have taken the time to think critically on this life and death issue. Last week we talked about the importance of why, what, and how we speak up. Our main points were saying nothing is saying something. What you say matters, and the way that you say it matters just as much. For those of you who watched the video, I'm curious, did you say something this week? Were you able to get in a personal dialogue? I would love to hear about it. If you want to leave your experiences in the comments, I think that'd be very encouraging for all of us. Also, if you didn't watch the video, I would encourage you to check it out if you get the chance to do so before watching this video. Today, I'm asking the question, do you have a heart? Or in other words, do you care? I'm anxious to get into the heart of the debate, to look at the arguments, but I can't do that without first addressing your heart. I can't place truth in your mind until I place truth in your heart. Heartless truth is harmful truth. This video was triggered by a few simple sentences in one of the best defenses of the pro-life position that I've ever heard. It's by Alan Shellman at the Oregon Right to Life on April 27, 2003. We have a link so you can watch that video after this video, but he says this: often when the issue of rape in regards to abortion is brought up, it's not to see if you have a logical response. It's to see if you have a heart. And unfortunately, we fail that test. What Alan is saying is that those who seem to care so much about the life of the unborn are received as uncaring people. Which brings me to my point number one. It's an old cliche that is so very true. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Have you ever had someone give you the truth, but it wasn't designed to help you, but to harm you? How did you respond to that? But how do we protect our words? We fill our hearts with love for the women, the men, the doctors, and all those we're trying to convince. You see, our motivation will greatly determine our execution. Our motivation will greatly determine our execution. As Luke 6:45 says, a good man out of the good treasure of his heart will bring forth good, and an evil man out of the evil treasure of his heart will bring forth evil. For out of the abundance of the heart, his mouth speaks. Romans 12:9 says it this way: let love be without hypocrisy. Abhor what is evil. Cling to what is good. In other words, be sincere. Don't put on a face. Don't be an actor. When we speak the truth in love, it shouldn't sound sincere. It should be sincere. When we speak the truth in love, it shouldn't sound like love. It should be love. Point number two. Who do you care about? An initial reaction from the pro-choice movement is, you don't care about women. And this will manifest itself in various statements. I'm not going to allow a man to tell me what I can do with my body. What about these kids who are born to single mothers or are orphaned or handicapped? Are you going to take care of them? What about women who are raped? What about women who are going to die? Now, we will deal with the intellectual responses to these questions later, but I want to first deal with the heart of the response. Instead, I've asked myself these questions. Do I care about women's rights? Do I defend them? What do I feel about single mothers? What can I do to help them? What do I feel about the orphans? Am I doing what God has called me to help the orphan? We don't need to enter into the other side with a heavy combat mindset. We need to enter in with a Christ-like compassion. Have you ever considered the person that you're talking to might have had an abortion or know someone closely? What they are vigorously defending is not a walled-off ideology, but a caged pain and guilt. 30% of women by age 45 will have an abortion. Look at this statistic. At least half of American women will experience an unintended pregnancy by age 45. And at the 2008 abortion rates, 1 in 10 women will have an abortion by age 20, 1 in 4 by age 30, and 3 in 10 by age 45. 30% of women. But consider this statistic. More than 7 in 10 women obtaining an abortion report a religious affiliation. 37% Protestant, 28% Catholic, and 7% other. And 25% attend religious services at least once a month. We need to change the heart of this issue. Every person that I have had a conversation with, I remind myself they might have had an abortion, or there might be somebody listening who has. There may be somebody in the room who has had an abortion, or is going to watch online, or is going to hear about what I said. Do I communicate compassion to these women? Recognizing the agony of their choice does not forfeit your position for the life of the unborn. There is pain for the post-abortive mother that she might not even recognize. We need to recognize the pain even when they don't recognize it themselves. Point number 3, how do you show that you care? We need to listen. Listen, listen, listen. Not every pro-choice advocate is the same, and you can be in danger of misrepresenting them if you don't take the time to listen and ask good questions. We're going to do a whole nother video on listening and asking good questions later, but I think a verse that's helpful is James 1:19-20. It says, "So then, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man does not produce the righteousness of God." Be slow to speak and listen to the other side. How do we show that we care? Preparing is caring. People will know that you care about the issue when you know what you're talking about. If someone has taken the time to research, to listen to the pro-choice advocates and the pro-life advocates, to listen to hurting women, to know the facts, they will know you care because you've taken the time and effort to know what you're talking about. Passion without preparing is precarious. It's dangerous. It's like driving a vehicle with pedal to the metal without a steering wheel. It's all force with no direction. We need to know what we're talking about. Thirdly, how we can show that we care is be the change. I think it's important that as Christians, we take away the excuses. I think we should care more about women's rights, battered women, orphans, and women's health than any group in the world. As James 1:27 says, "Pure and undefiled religion before God and the Father is this, to visit orphans and widows in their trouble, and to keep oneself unspotted from the world." It's easy to show how many Christian organizations that are doing so much right now. Christians are doing more for the widow and orphan than anyone in the world. But are you one of those Christians? They won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Understand me. I'm not saying that you need to completely consume yourself and drain yourself. You only have one life to live, and you can only do so much. You can't do everything, but you can do something. So what are you doing to show that you care? So in review, we answered 3 questions. Do you have a heart? They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Second question we answered is, who do you care for? Who do you have a heart for? And thirdly, how do you show that you have a heart? Speaking of having a heart, we're going to be suggesting organizations that you can support through the Speak Life video series. 78% of women who choose to see an ultrasound of their babies choose not to have abortions. What's the difference? The heartbeat. The heartbeat really does change everything. So we are highlighting the Save the Storks organization that uses sonogram buses to travel to abortion clinics to give free sonograms to women. I encourage you to watch this video that we have linked to see more information about their powerful ministry. Go to their website, donate, do what you can to make a difference. We want to thank you for choosing to speak up for life, and we will see you next week.